Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We're here every Saturday to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners and to learn how they succeed to build their businesses from the ground up. What are their challenges and what are their victories? Jeanette, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're here every Saturday from 11 to noon, and we have Michelle Gallagher from Gallagher Gatewood coming back on. She is coming on for a fourth time, so she does my taxes. So this show, I want to coin the phrase for the everyday entrepreneur. I like that. For some reason, it has a ring to it. Yeah. And, you know, don't get me wrong. Like I'd love to interview like a really high-powered CEO one day, but this show is for small business owners.
Those of us still struggling and still working and having that. You have to have, it's a certain kind of personality to stick it out.
And then this is also
famine.
This is also for consumers also, because I like to talk about small businesses, hoping that people would try to keep their business local. So so if somebody were to go to Michelle for their taxes, you know, or bookkeeping or anything, they'd be keeping their money local.
I am a small business, even though
I'm
under the banner. But it's really nice that you brought her on, because I think that when it comes to business, what's business? It's money. If you don't know how to account for your money, these are people go, what happened to the money? I don't know. So having someone that takes care of those things are very important. So I'm looking forward to talking to a local person, local business that does everything from, she does your taxes. Does she do bookkeeping or how?
No, she just basically does my taxes.
So you bring her all the things that you have, and then she kind of like interviews you. It's like, do you have this? And
so I think around August is when I'm going to turn in all my receipts, my bank statements, my miles, my phone records now, because I just learned that I have to start writing off my phone, which I should have been doing a long time ago.
If you use your phone for business,
I do,
and you are self-employed, it's definitely a write-off. If you need your computers or laptops, and even home offices, that percentage of the square footage where the electricity is going to, security is going to, and all of those. There's so many write-offs there that people don't even know that they have. Yeah,
and you got to get out of that mentality. Like, I'm in that working class mentality. And I have to get out of that mentality of, you know, I'm a business owner first and foremost.
Yeah, and people think that the money that they make, and then they don't have any money left, and they're going, why am I working so hard and everything else? Well, because they're using their own money to buy things like, let's say, having a cell phone. Yeah. And that, so you didn't make that money because that was a business expense that you now have to have to be able to stay in business. So you really, you know, so it's going to be nice talking to someone that helps business owners or someone like you just with taxes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Michelle knows me really well. I don't hide anything from Michelle, and I just give her everything. You know, maybe not. I'm not the most organized person, but she gets everything. Like last year, she got this year she got everything on the 15th.
Oh,
so, yeah, and then she had it done the same day. But I also gave her stuff.
Oh, don't do that to anyone.
I know. It was a bad beginning of the year.
On the 15th is when I file my extension.
Is it? Okay.
My taxes are just way too complicated and so much. And I run my business, and when it comes to, let's say, bookkeeping and I use QuickBooks and then payroll and everything else. I run everything financially in my business, like if I'm going to be audited by the IRS. I make sure I keep every single receipt. You know when you get the receipt, how those fade. So
they do,
minute, in fact, yesterday I went to Staples and I had to buy some things. Mm-hmm. And for the office, copier paper, I had laminating machine because, come on in, we'll laminate your ID cards. Now you don't have to worry about spilling coffee on them. But anyway, but that receipt that prints out, it will fade, it will get ruined. So the minute I got back to the office, I made a copy of the receipt and then I stapled the receipt to that copy. So now I have proof there's not only my receipt, but I have the copy underneath. And then I wrote exactly like a little note to myself. Needed a case of copier paper and laminating machine. Was kind of like somebody put the laminating stuff backwards and it all melted inside the machine. but I mean, it's an expense. And then
Yeah.
I turned it over to my bookkeeper, my lovely daughter, Christina. But when it comes
Yeah.
to the taxes and doing the P&Ls, yeah, I have a CPA.
Yeah. Nice. Mm-hmm. So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin and Jeanette Fournier on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Jeanette, you and I need to sit down and talk about Legal Shield because, we...
I've been getting your text messages.
Yeah.
I remember there's something about lunch.
Okay.
You put, when we read your text, it's like, let's check your calendar, Jeanette. Let's have
All right.
lunch, my treat. And
Okay. So we'll have to do that either this coming Monday or the following Monday. And it'll probably be the following Monday because I got to go out of town to Oakland this week. So probably the following Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll sit down and we can, I'll do it in the afternoon. That way.
I'll tell you, Mondays are a day that Allstate never has Zoom meetings or corporate meetings.
Okay.
Because they probably know that on Mondays is when every stolen car is,
reported. Yeah.
Exactly. Our office is full on Mondays.
Yeah. So I'll get you in the afternoon, maybe after 1 or something.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the value of Legal Shield for individuals, families, and small businesses, as we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. If you don't have to worry about a bill, would you pick up a phone and call an expert attorney?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's what Legal Shield does all across the USA for 52 years, turning wrongs into rights because everybody deserves access to justice. Most people were priced out of having legal representation, but we got your back. Ask yourself, how much does it cost to talk to a lawyer?
Lots. Trust me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, do you know how much a lawyer would cost per hour with Legal Shield?
Well, not $900.
No. It works out with the membership. The basic membership works out to about 12.5 cents an hour. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So, and you have access to them 24 hours. So if you get pulled over at 2 a.m,
I never get pulled over at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
I'm sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I have.
I'm not wild like you are.
Yeah. So one time, I'll just tell this story really quick. I was coming back from a party, and I have a Class A, so I'm really careful about my Class A. So I had a lot. I did have a couple beers, and so it's about 2 a.m. and I get pulled over, and officer really nice. I turned on. Here's some advice to anybody: if you ever get pulled over at night, turn on your dome light and put your hands on the steering wheel because that'll put the cop at ease right away.
They never know what they're walking up to.
Yeah, exactly. And then have your windows rolled down, your radio off. Just be respectful. And chances are you're going to have a pleasant conversation, with the officer, no matter.
They have a hard enough job.
They do, yeah. So it was a CHP officer, and he walked up and he goes, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He goes, you're kind of weaving back there, which I didn't think I was, but but he goes, you're kind of weaving back there. Everything okay? I go, yeah. And he said, he goes, where are you coming from? And I'm thinking, oh, crap.
Oh, God, I'm coming from a party.
Yeah. And I was honest. I said, I'm coming from a party. He goes, okay. Was there alcohol at this party? I go, yeah, there was alcohol. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, or he says, did you have any alcohol at this party? And I said, yeah, I had 2 beers. And I was honest.
And that's the whole thing, though. Don't you know that when people say they have 2 beers, they usually have 6, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was really 2 beers.
Exactly, because you're honest.
Yeah.
But to him, he's going oh, yeah, we have I only had 2. And it was 5 hours ago, right?
Well, and I got the test, and he asked me if I was on my phone, and I said no. And he goes, well, you're kind of weaving. He goes, did you have, so what, you had 3 beers? And I said, no, I had 2, so that was the test. And he says, well, why don't you come out here? We'll take a look. Oh, God. So I get out of my car, and as I'm walking over to the sidewalk, I tripped over my own feet. and then
you saw the second police car pull up, and now you knew someone was going to jail.
So the officer goes, be careful there. I said, yeah, I am. And so long story short, he gave me the test where you follow the flashlight or the finger. And he goes, oh, yeah, you're fine. He goes, just be careful. You're kind of weaving back there. And he goes, you also ran a red light back there. Which I didn't mention before, but yeah, I'm sorry about that.
This is why I'm not out at 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, let's get our guest out of the green room, okay?
Okay, yeah. What a story. So reach out for more information about our featured guest by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And you can always pull up any of the past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And my beautiful, wonderful co-host is a fellow small business owner, Jeanette Forney. She owns her own Allstate agency in the Central Valley. Call Jeanette at 209-667-2222 or email her at JeanetteForney@allstate.com. Little, just smooching a little bit. I'll just put it that way. So
I'll give you $20 later, okay?
Okay, thank you. So, so our guest today is Michelle Gallagher, returning guest, fourth time, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Yeah, so owner of Gallagher Gatewood, or co-owner, right?
Yep.
Co-owner. Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, you said business name is Gallagher
Gatewood.
Gatewood.
Yeah.
And is it say bookkeeping services, or
No, we're a full service CPA firm.
Oh,
Been
okay.
been around since 1979.
See, that's important to get out there. Okay.
Previously known as Clendenin Bird and Company. We changed the name in 2020 during the pandemic, and we kind of kept the name. We took over in 2013, but we kept the name because it's so well known in Modesto. Jerry Clendenin's wife has a lot to do with the community. And so there was a lot of people that knew them. And so we decided to keep the name for a long time, but then we started getting new clients and they're like, who's that? And, why are you, attorneys put their name on it the minute they become a partner. And so we decided in late 2020, we were going to change the name. So.
Okay.
Well, I'm always interested because we are the Small Business View. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people out there that listen to the show because they are either starting their own business or they have their own business, and we all have, our ups and downs. And you said, COVID came along, and that's when you decided to make some changes to the company. How did you get into this? And, what is your story of where you are today?
Okay, so I grew up in Mariposa, near Yosemite, and decided that I wanted to do accounting as my major. Went to Stan State, got my accounting degree.
Local,
yep.
yeah.
And the firm that I started with at Clendenin Bird, I started as an intern. I left a few times to kind of explore the world and see if this is really what I wanted to do, and then came back permanently in 2008. Became 10% owner in 2009, and then Kathy Gatewood and I took over in 2013, and we've been running it ever since.
So you had to buy out the other partners.
Yep.
And then you changed the name,
yep.
and so now you have one partner. Who's this one partner?
Kathy Gatewood.
Okay, and she is to you friend?
We've been friends since we both started the same year in 1997, so I've known her for a very long time.
All right. And you know what? Exploring the world seems, exciting, and accounting does not.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, great. So,
Can you make accounting fun, like Sesame Street?
No, you know what? I think it's a personality type. It's like my daughter. My daughter does my bookkeeping.
Right.
And the thing is, she didn't even realize that she liked it. She was going to help mom out. Mm-hmm. And I had not received my 1099 from Allstate. And I said, I need to get these books balanced. I need to. She sat down, and I went upstairs to her room, and I'm going, hey, come down for dinner. She goes, almost, Mom, almost. And the thing is, she was such in the zone. And then when I actually called Allstate, I said, can you just tell me what the final number is for the 1099? And she stood there on pins and needles. When she heard the final cent, she was right on the money. She just glowed. And when we did the personality test on Christina, she was task-oriented. She liked having a beginning and an end. And actually, if it's not frustrating, accounting can be very relaxing. Because I was an accountant at Union Carbide Corporations in the San Ramon. And, my thing was just reconciling some of the books and things like this. Right. And you just sit there and you just go through it. And you're in this zone. It's quiet. And numbers don't talk back. Numbers are logical. So that's the whole thing. What makes it fun? Drama is not fun. Mm-hmm. And when you deal with people, there's drama. Yeah. Numbers, it can be very relaxing. And when you're good at it, I mean,
I'm too much of a daydreamer for that. I would never get a thing done.
yes, I think it's your personality. I mean, if you enjoy it and you went out and explored and had all this excitement, you're going, no, I'm going back to the numbers.
Well, I've always been in an accounting field. I just went private industry the first time and really disliked it a lot. It was one task all the time. With the accounting firms, I'm in people's businesses, from doctors to farmers to big corporations. So, and I just get to deal with a lot of different kinds of people. And it's all about solving problems is basically what my job is. It's solving problems with the IRS, solving problems with their books, getting that kind of stuff done.
I don't know if I asked this question before, but do you have a favorite number or a favorite like sequence of numbers? We had somebody come on before that said she liked things divided into 5. Something like that. Like just something weird. It was something.
Well, a lot of my usernames and stuff have the months of my children's birthday, so it's 0312.
Oh, okay. All right.
So wait a minute, how many children do you have?
I have two boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mom of boys.
Yes.
They're tough ones.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite was when your kids were playing Little League and one was playing for the Yankees and the other was playing for the Red Sox.
Yes.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the best one is my oldest one. They're both they're Red Sox fans and Dodger fans. And I'm a diehard Giants fan, and he landed on the Giants for the year. So that was fantastic for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least your kids follow baseball. My kids, I couldn't get into sports at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like my son lives literally like
there,
blocks away from the stadium, and he could just care less about baseball. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my family and their dad's family are huge sports fans. Football and baseball and basketball are our sports.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So with the firm, I'm sorry I'm getting back to business here, but I'm a business owner. So as a business owner, I mean, I started like when you said, I was a commercial sales manager. I knew very little about insurance. Now I know everything about insurance, it seems like. But when you become an owner, then it's kind of, even Allstate says it, start working less in the agency and on the agency because you're so in control of everything that you have to manage.
Right.
And so how many employees do you have? And are you still doing some of the bookkeeping, or have you become preoccupied with the hiring and regulations or the big stuff? Does the big stuff land on your desk?
Right. So we're a small firm. I have 2 staff accountants, an office manager, a receptionist, and then a part-time high-level bookkeeper, and then myself and Kathy. Kathy and I are actively involved in doing both the work, but a lot of our time is spent dealing with the clients. So a lot of our referrals that we get are from people who can't talk to their CPA, can't talk to the partner that's in charge of their account. They're talking to a staff level accountant, and people aren't calling back, so on and so forth. And so a lot of our referrals are that, because Kathy and I deal a lot with the clients directly.
I think that's so important these days, especially with everything from, that you just can have a person to talk to.
Right.
And then having a person that knows what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And same thing, like I might talk to a person about everything, and then I'll have to say, but I'm going to have this staff member quote it out for you.
Right.
Once I get the quote, I look at it, then call the customer back to explain, see if they have any questions.
All right, so you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Jess Duncan, Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. We're here with Michelle Gallagher, co-owner of Gallagher Gatewood, and she can be reached at 209-526-3091, and her website is gg-cpa.com. And if you want to email Michelle, mgallagher@gg-cpa.com. Boy, that is a mouthful.
I know.
So I've been a client of yours since 2018.
Yep.
So how bad do I frustrate you?
You don't, because fortunately I do have staff that work on your stuff, then I don't have to.
What is the most frustrating? If someone comes and dumps a bag of receipts on a desk and say, you figure it out, or?
No, because again, I give it to my staff. The frustrating clients are the ones that...
That's me.
No, not the worst client. That want a lot of service but don't want to pay for the service.
Or how about the ones that want you to do something that's not, let's say, kosher? I mean...
Well, I'm very straightforward in terms of...
You got to be able to sleep at night.
I know where I can push my limits. I've been doing this a long time and where I'm comfortable at, so...
Well, and then really quick, so like you said, you want to be on the up and up. Mm-hmm. It makes me sleep at night, because if I get audited, mm-hmm. I can just call you and say, hey, this is what's going on.
Right.
And I don't have a worry.
Good.
Yeah, because I give you everything. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, if I ever do get audited, I get a refund from it.
Right.
But, yeah, that'd be the nice thing.
That would be ideal, yes, for sure.
So we're listening. So this is Michelle Gallagher, owner of Gallagher Gatewood. If you are looking for a bookkeeper or
we do everything from tax services, bookkeeping, payroll, sales tax, tax planning. We do financial statements, reviews, audits, compilations.
And
for
where
banks.
are you located?
Currently, we're at the corner of Tully and Stanford at 3501 Tully Road. We're in the same building as U.S. Bank.
And do you need an appointment? Or do you take walk-ins that just want to come in and see you?
No, ideally, you want to have an appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Ideally, yeah.
Ideally, yes.
But you also help businesses form like LLCs,
yes.
C Corps, S Corps.
Yeah,
So,
first consultation's free, and we kind of discuss what that looks like and what would be best for that person, and what are their needs in terms of what they need to be, either an LLC, S Corp, or just a sole prop. It just depends on their situation and the industry they're in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear about that, too, because I get questions all the time from, let's say, contractors, and I said, no, that's probably not the best route to go.
Okay, so you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app.
CISPRO Innovations, connecting local businesses with local families. Display your services and products with our pay-as-you-go optimized website design program and boost your brand's online presence with our affordable social media marketing tools. To learn more, visit our website at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out to us for more information on our featured guest by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And you can pull up any of our past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And my wonderful guest host is a fellow small business owner. She owns Jeanette Forney's Allstate Agency, and she can be reached at 209-667-2222, or email her at JeanetteForney@allstate.com.
All right. You said something that was so important, with...
Let me
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I mean, you know how I'm like this
I
racehorse. I have the next question I want to ask her, but go ahead.
Okay, so Michelle Gallagher is back with us for a fourth time. And she is going to, Jeanette's got the questions. So, but if you want to get a hold of Michelle, you can call her at 209-526-3091. And you can email her at mgallagher@gg-cpa.com. And the website is gg-cpa.com. So if you want to book an appointment, you can just go there. Okay.
Remember, they're small and they're personal.
Yes, you're right.
But you know what? This is so important because being a business owner, and I deal with a lot of business owners because we write commercial insurance. And I see so many of them, I love entrepreneurs. They start a business. Then all of a sudden their finances get out of control and they don't understand that, the money at the end of the month is not their money. It belongs to the company because now guess what? You can't finance the next job. And we find this a lot like in the construction industry. And these guys are great at what they do, but running a business is something, they wouldn't be up on a hot roof if they had the computer skills and things. So like my husband always used to say. But anyway, it was so interesting that not only we know what bookkeeping and accounting services are, and we know how important it is to account for your money so that you have something to see. Where's my money going?
Right.
Because if you're not in control of your money, you're going to go out of business.
Right.
But the other really important thing is when you're first starting the business and you go and see, get that professional help.
Right.
Like you said, there's differences between who's suited for an LLC. And a lot of people call it limited liability corporation. It's not a corporation. It's a limited liability company.
Right.
You're not your own separate entity. You're part of a membership of other members. And what I have found with when certain companies find out that, well, I should never have been this in the first place, and now they become, let's say, an S Corp. Now all of a sudden, for insurance purposes, that's a whole brand new business. They might as well have sold it to somebody else, and that person said, hey, tell you what, I'll hire you on as the president to run it. So it has the advantages of now you can be your own, an employee that really takes you apart from it. But the time to do that is not this person was changing over, and all of a sudden the insurance says, we can't insure them. As far as we're concerned, they're new in business, even though they had been in business for 10 years because the corporation. So if you're out there and you're starting your business and now you're going like, oh, wow, this wasn't just a dream. I'm hiring some people. I'm growing.
Right.
They need to come and see you, right?
Yes.
And what are the differences as far as you said, certain industries? Because I know they're in the construction industry. This was a long time ago. I was working for the Contractor State License Service, and they did not like LLCs at all.
Oh, really?
They would punish them.
Really? That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, because they couldn't deal with them. Dealing with members and things like this. If you were going to be something, they wanted you to be an S corp.
Yeah, typically, if you're in a really low liability industry, for example, Justin doing a radio show, there's not a whole lot of liability in terms of being sued. He can just be a sole prop and not have to worry about that kind of stuff. There's definitely tax advantages to being an S corp, but for Justin in his situation, sole prop is the way to go. You don't have to pay the $800 fee to California because he has another job. He doesn't really have to worry about self-employment tax. Being the sole prop for him is ideal. When you're talking about industries that are more litigious, like the construction industries, doctors, those types of situations, you want to look at being either an LLC or an S corp, kind of separating the liability.
Protecting yourself.
Protecting yourself.
Everything.
For sure.
Everything you worked hard for. It's kind of like you could be the CEO of, let's say, PepsiCo, and the company, I shouldn't even say it was poisons people. You're not. They're not going to come after your home.
Right.
Because those CEOs can be fired and hired, and it's just a paid position.
Right. So the best, I guess, entity is an S corp because it's a hybrid between a partnership and a corporation. You get the advantages of being able to take out the profits from the company and not pay self-employment tax on that. But then you also have to take a wage, which was the rule is you need to pay yourself what you would be paid if you were working for somebody else. So then the corporation gets a deduction. It's income for you, just like it would be if you were a sole prop. But the advantage is that you're saving this 15.3% on the net profit. So, for example, if you make $100,000 in net in a year, you take 50 of it in wages, and then you can take the other 50 as a draw. But you don't have to pay that 15.3% on that 50 grand. Whereas if you were a sole prop, you'd have to pay it on the 100% of the $100,000.
And, I hate to constantly bring up my ex-husband, but, but when he, let's say, would forget to pay his commercial insurance on the trucks. Right. And he'd say, oh, wow, so I don't have insurance? I said, yeah, you do. You're driving with our children's college fund, the house, everything, because he's a sole proprietor.
Right.
So you're basically putting everything you own that's in your name up there. And so, again, it's kind of like some people don't need it. It's like when people come in and they want to have all this insurance, I'm going, do you have gold hidden underneath your bed?
Right.
And they're like, no. And I said, you don't really have any risk here.
Right.
It's like, so it's really good. That's why I think people need to talk to an expert. And if you're in business, if you didn't do it in the beginning, maybe now's the time that you really need to go in. You need to protect yourself. Right. And laws are changing. Tax laws are changing.
All the time.
And I've been through an audit. And basically when they told me, and when I went in for the audit, one of the big things that they had a thing with was anything that's a 1099. People think that you can just, hire someone, not have to have them as an employee, and then just say, oh, yeah. But there are very specific laws. So maybe for all of our business owners out there that say, oh, no, I don't have any employees. I just pay them, and they take care of their own taxes.
Right.
So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin Nugg and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. And we're here with Michelle Gallagher, and she's going to educate us really quick on something else. So she can be reached at 209-526-3091. And she can be reached at mgallagher@gg-cpa.com. And you also email is www.gg-cpa.com.
Yeah, this is huge in California. The biggest one is contractors.
Yeah. See, I come from that background.
They hire people to help them, mostly handyman, because they don't want to have to pay the workers' comp. But the rule is basically, if that person does what you do or what your industry does, then they're your employee. If it's me coming in to do your books, I'm not doing that, so I can be a 1099. So it's really basically straightforward. If they do what your industry does, what you're doing, then they're an employee. What happens, I had one client do this where he did 1099s to all of the subs, which would have been okay if he got audited by workers' comp. If he would have paid workers' comp on those people because they didn't have their own insurance, he would have been fine. But he didn't and got
and see, and that's what I ran
almost
into.
bankrupt.
In that,
Oh,
exactly.
wow.
What happened is this guy, he says, I got all these years just painting. I've been painting for 15 years, etc. I just want to work once in a while when you need me on a good job, etc. So then the guy gets 1099, and then all of a sudden he ended up getting injured. Well, he was never going to do it, but then that's when you have the wife. This is when lawsuits happen too. The wife's going like, he got injured and he was working for you. So she went to workers' comp, and now all of a sudden they explain it. Basically, he was under your direction. If you were telling him where to go and what to do, he's an employee. And if you hired him as, let's say, a subcontractor, then did he have his own license? Did he bid the job saying, I will paint this house for this much and send you an invoice?
Right.
If he didn't, he's an employee.
Right.
And so, yes, it gets very expensive in the trying. So just do it right. Like you said, you sleep well. You do things
sleep well
right.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
And all those people that come in and say, well, it's my brother that's helping me.
Right.
And so, again, contractors, I'm going, so he goes, oh, no, he's not an employee. He's just helping me out. So I said, so you take $50,000, he gets $50,000, but on your taxes, you're paying taxes on $100,000. He just walked away with $50,000 in his pocket, no taxes.
Right.
So it gets that's why they need to go and see someone like you.
Yes.
Really, let's see how you're running your business, and you're going to tell them it gets expensive. It would have been cheaper to have him as an employee and write off $50,000.
Right.
Right? So
you're listening to my bookkeeper, Michelle Gallagher, and my tax lady, and
CPA firm.
CPA firm, yeah.
Yep.
So Michelle Gallagher, she can be reached at 209-526-3091, and you can email her at mgallagher@gg-cpa.com. One last question. So let's say that I hit it big, because right now I'm still trying to hit that big, I like playing the jack, like casino, like I'm just looking for that big jackpot.
Right.
So do you offer services to where you manage money? Like, no.
No, but I have referrals.
You have referrals,
Yes, I
okay.
do. Yep.
And then, so they would keep you in line, like they would say, like, look, you can't spend money here.
Yep.
Okay.
It's planning, basically.
Planning,
how much money do you need per month? Let's budget. Let's figure this out. You don't want to take trips a couple times a year.
Yeah.
It's all about managing how much spending you do. But no, I don't do that, but I definitely have referrals.
Yeah, if you are in business, you really, I don't care how good the wife is at doing books. I
have that all the time.
All
the time.
You really need to get professional
I agree.
help on this.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being a guest, and thank you for doing the hard job of being my tax lady for like the last, 6 years now?
Yes.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you, and I can sleep, sound at night.
Good.
So you're listening to Michelle Gallagher, co-owner of Gallagher Gatewood, and she can be reached at 209-526-3091. You can email her at mgallagher@gg-cpa.com, and the website is www.gg-cpa.com. You're listening to Small Business Voice on Power Talk 1360. Stay with us on the iHeartRadio app.
Just read your message on my phone. It's turning me on when you say.
This business tip is brought to you by Cispro Innovation. Hi, this is Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about forging strategic local partnerships. Local businesses thrive best when they support one another. Consider building strategic partnerships with a non-competing business in your community. A bookstore could work with a coffee shop, setting up a cozy reading nook for patrons. These collaborations can increase foot traffic, share customer base, and further enrich your business in the local community's fabric. CISPRO Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at CISPROinnovation.com. That's CISPRO, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV. Reach out for us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. Pull up any of the past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, and connect with me on LinkedIn. And my wonderful, beautiful, talented guest host is a fellow small business owner, Jeanette Forney. She owns an all-state agency in the Central Valley. Call Jeanette at 209-667-2222 or email her at JeanetteForney@allstate.com. Community Corner is brought to you by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606 or visit their website at lightspeedgraphics.com. So,
that was a great guest.
Yeah, Michelle's awesome. And she was very patient with me today because I kept her waiting. I apologize, Michelle.
But, such great information, especially, I know I felt like we were picking on contractors, but that's the whole thing. Contractors are out there in the field. They're trying to get jobs done.
Yeah.
And the last thing that they're really thinking about, and I do want to say, bless all those supportive family members that help them with their bookkeeping and everything else. But professionals know the latest tax laws. But I know that when Frank started out, of course, I was an accountant, but, I was doing all of the books and everything else. And especially for contractors, it's seasonal. It rains. There went the job, So that 1099 thing, everyone needs to know that. So. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's a little bit too much for my education, so that's why I have Michelle as my tax person. So.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
It makes it easier for me.
Business owners do what you do best, but money is money.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing when I was audited. They told me, well, you've been in business for 2 years, and you're in a successful business, so you should have anticipated that we're going to pull an audit on you. So if you've been in business for 2 years and you start making money, don't wait till you get audited to say, oh. And she said, I said, well, why? And they go, because we want to make sure that everyone is keeping good business records.
Yeah.
So it's, I run my business like if I'm going to be audited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then that's probably one of the few things I've done right running a business is have everything go through Michelle. Mm-hmm. I got a question for you. Do you know what you and Michelle have in common?
A lot of things, actually. But
well, there's one thing in particular, and if you don't know it, it's fine.
No, I don't know. What?
Okay. So I met you both at Gold Star Referrals Club, which is a business networking opportunity that meets weekly at various times on Monday through Friday. We invite you to join us. I attend Downtown Connections, Modesto, every Thursday at noon over at Skewers. For those interested in meeting Jeanette, her club meets at 7 a.m. at My Garden Cafe.
Great way to start the day on Tuesdays. And that's the whole thing. Like you said, you met me. And I have met so many wonderful business professionals. And that's the whole thing. We can't do it all. So that's why when you get to know someone personally first and they're an expert in their field, that's the person you go to. And because we're so busy, we can't figure out everything ourselves. And that's the whole thing. Like with my former husband, it's like he goes, well, I'm not good at this. And I said, you don't have to be good at everything. You can be good at painting. If you're not good at this, that's when you get to hire somebody else that's good at it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. Stick in your lane and hire professionals because cheap gets expensive.
Yeah. Well, so I've hired a lot of Gold Star members, and you have too.
Oh, yeah. I do business with Gold Star people.
Yeah.
Because I know them.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have a guest on pretty soon, and he does my yard work. Yeah. And well, seriously. And I need this tree trimmed, and I think it'd be a good opportunity to have him on.
Oh my gosh! And see, that's the only problem is like when it comes to those things, it's really nice when I get to know people because then they're willing to drive all the way up to Linden.
Yeah.
And because I find it hard, it was when my pool man, he's going, Linden gas. I said, if I give you 5 other customers in Linden,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. I actually did Google Maps and saw people that had swimming pools in their backyard.
Oh, there you go. That's a
And
good
I went
idea.
across the street and I said, who's your pool guy?
Yeah.
And she says, I lost my pool guy. That's how I lost mine. They said, too much gas. I can't come from Stockton. And so when I got all those other people, same thing with my gardener.
Yeah.
While he's mowing my lawn, then his daughter is across the street. Then they go to the next one and the next one. They do 5 houses, all my neighbors. So it makes it worth their while to come out to Linden and do all the Linden homes on 2 streets.
Okay, but I got to do a reset really quick, but I'm going to call BS on that, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Nugget and Jeanette Forney on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. And this is why I say that is because...
Yeah, you're calling me.
Well, because Stockton and Linden, what is it, like 10 miles?
No, it's 17 miles to the freeway.
Okay, to the freeway.
Yeah, but the thing is, to service one person, they're driving out.
I
There's
get it,
25
but-
minutes,
Yeah.
and they've wasted an hour's time and gas instead of having everything locally in Stockton. So all I can say is I've had trouble having people come out
Yeah.
to Linden, and that's the whole thing. Yeah, I drive from Linden all the way to Turlock,
Yeah.
and it's almost 50 miles. And so when people go like, "Oh, you're in Turlock," well, I'm in Salida. That's too far. It's like, oh, you're talking to the wrong person. That's the whole thing. If you want good service and when it's something important to you,
Yeah.
a lot of times, though, how often do you go and see your accountant? So
Well,
if you find a good accountant in
Yeah.
Modesto, you're not going to be commuting there every single day.
No.
Yeah. So,
Well,
that's the whole thing. You need to find good people.
And I commend what you did. You got the guy 5 or 6 other...
And he's fabulous.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. And he used to work for like a hotel chain. And then he finally just said, you know what? I want to spend more time with my family because they have him traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
So here we have another entrepreneur. And you know how I feel about entrepreneurs.
Oh,
I want to
yes.
give them business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, because you gave me a lot of business over the years too. So, and I feel like I'm starting to reciprocate with the show because people call your office.
Oh, yeah. And look,
Yes.
I think that good energy out there. And
Yeah.
as we educate ourselves and a lot of the knowledge, I've had people call me and say, I learned something I didn't know before. And it makes them feel like they want to be more involved in the community. And this is the Community Corner where we always tell you, if you're a business owner, find out where your local chamber is. Get
Yeah.
to know other business owners, and definitely come and join me for breakfast Tuesday mornings at 7:00 at
My Garden.
My Garden Cafe right there in Turlock.
Yeah.
Great food. And if you come there and say you're my guest, I'll pay for your breakfast. How's that? And get to meet some other business owners. And this is for business owners. Don't just come for free breakfast.
Yeah, it's for business owners. So that could be a wide variety of things. But as long as you're a business owner and you're employed yourself,
Or if you're a business
Yeah.
owner, and you tell your manager, I want you to go there and represent my business. It's got to be someone that has some authority in the business to be
Yeah.
able to help that business out.
So my club meets Thursdays at noon over at Skewers. So give me a heads up if you're going to come, and I'll have somebody buy your lunch.
Look, I just set the bar that we are
Yeah.
buying them their food if they come and visit Gold Star. And we have like 13, 14 clubs
Yeah.
all across the Central Valley. And you can, once you're a
Well,
Gold Star member, you can go to any of those clubs and
Yeah.
meet other business members also.
And there's some in the works too. I think we have there's one in Sacramento now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a virtual club. But we have other ones opening too. Tracy's going to reopen pretty soon.
And some, it's just lunch type of thing, It's,
Yeah.
but for me, 7:00 in the morning, that's 2 hours before my office opens. So then, having breakfast with business owners, and it's just once a week. And I
Yeah.
have to get up super early to drive an hour down there. So if you are in the trades, morning might work best for you because you can't
Yeah.
leave the job site. And if you're in an office or you're downtown or something, once a week going to lunch. I mean, how fabulous is that? Just to
Yeah.
sit down, touch base with other business owners and meet people like Michelle. And
Yeah,
that's on your
absolutely.
Thursday, be able to
Michelle's-
talk to her and get to know her.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. And again, it's a small business where you can talk to her and you can get advice. And that's what we need today for small businesses, supporting each other.
Yeah. Michelle's amazing. So we're going to have the chambers come on with more information here in the future. So we're going to have more community events. Yeah, because there's stuff going on everywhere. The Oakdale Chamber, they always got stuff going on.
Yeah, you got to get involved in your community if you're a business.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for tuning in each week. We look forward to having you back next week. A heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and the general manager at KCBP, Jim Costello, for their invaluable contributions to our show. We also appreciate the hard work of Kurt Gonzalez from Lightspeed Graphics, Video, and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests and their stories. If you're seeking assistance with digital marketing, don't hesitate to reach out to Kurt. He is very talented. You can text him at 209-617-2606 or via email at kurt@lightspeedgraphics.com. And that's Kurt like Captain Kurt, K-I-R-K. So, Jeanette, thank you again for joining me today. Your support is really invaluable to me also.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything you do.
I learn so much from the guests all the time.
Yeah. And the great thing about you is you're so inquisitive. So, I mean, I love that about you.
I like learning.
Yes.
Stop learning, start dying, you know?
So remember to join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. as we dive into the minds of local small business owners with even more insightful discussions. Special thanks to our guest, Michelle Gallagher, for sharing her experience with us. Now, let's take care of business.